So how do we distinguish the cyclic photophosphorylation from the non-cyclic one? So there are very easy, some of the points are very easy to understand. The cyclic photophosphorylation involves only photosystem first, but there is participation of both photosystem first as well as second in the case of the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. If you remember, we just did this. In non-cyclic we have both systems involved, and this we have only one system involved. So in the cyclic phosphorylation, only photosystem first plays an independent role, and in the case of the non-cyclic, it is carried out by a simultaneous activity, or you can say cooperative activity of both photosystem first as well as photosystem second. Now another point is there is no external source of electron required in the case of the cyclic photophosphorylation, but in the case of the non-cyclic photophosphorylation there is a source of electron always required, and we know that source of electron is the molecule of water. Let's understand this quickly. You can see here electron starts from here and comes back here, so there is no net loss of electron, number of electron remains same. That's why there is no requirement of supply of electrons from outside, so no external source of electrons is required in the cyclic photophosphorylation. But in the case of this concept, electron lost from here has gone to NADP, and the loss of electrons of photosystem first is made up by the electrons which are coming from the photosystem second, and the loss of photosystem second is covered up by the photolysis of water. So photolysis of water, or you can say the water, is the external source of energy, electrons, or external source of electrons, which has to be continuously present there. Then only non-cyclic photophosphorylation is made possible. Now the next point is photolysis of water does not occur in cyclic photophosphorylation, but photolysis of water does occur in the case of the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. You can check this point here. Loss of photolysis of water takes place here. There is no photolysis of water taking place here. In this process, ATP is the end product. In this process, both ATP as well as NADPH2 are formed. You can call it as reduced form of NADP. You can call it as NADPH2. You can call it as NADPH plus H plus. There are many methods to call it. So here you can see ATP is formed, NADPH2 or NADPH is formed, or reduced NADP is formed. In this case only ATPs are formed, so that's why the difference is only ATPs are formed as the end product of cyclic photophosphorylation, but in the case of the non-cyclic, both ATP as well as the NADPH2 are formed. Now the next point is that the cyclic photophosphorylation occur in the stromal lamellae as well as in the unstalked thylakoids, and the non-cyclic photophosphorylation takes place in the stacked thylakoids, what you call as the grana. So grana is the site of non-cyclic photophosphorylation, and stromal lamellae is the site of the cyclic photophosphorylation. This is stromal lamellae, these are granal lamellae. So granal lamellae are the site of the non-cyclic, and stromal is the site of the cyclic photophosphorylation. You can check here also. This is the stromal thylakoid or lamellae or intergranal thylakoid. So these are the places of cyclic photophosphorylation, and these are the site of the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. This is granal thylakoids or granal lamellae. The next point is that the cyclic photophosphorylation is functional at the low light intensity and during the anaerobic condition, and when the carbon dioxide availability is less. And when you compare this with the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, It occurs when there is high light intensity as well as aerobic condition and high amount of carbon dioxide also. So this is how cyclic is different from the non-cyclic. You can even add one more point, that there is a poison which is called as DACMO or dichlorophenyl dimethylurea. I have mentioned the name here. Dichlorophenyl dimethylurea. This poison is able to affect the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, but it is not able to affect the functioning of the cyclic photophosphorylation. Reason is what? This biomolecule or poison functions at the transfer of electron between photosystem second and photosystem first. So it will block the electron to be transferred from photosystem second to photosystem first. Let me tell you at which place. At this place. So the plastoquinone is not able to pick up the electron from the photosystem second. So because this has stopped, this transfer to the photosystem first will not occur, and that's why it acts like a poison against the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. You can even add one more point, that cyclic photophosphorylation occurs when the normal photosynthetic activity is inhibited. That means not in the normal conditions. And non-cyclic photophosphorylation occur during the normal conditions of light. That means when conditions are better, non-cyclic photophosphor, because better conditions means high light intensity, aerobic condition, and good amount of carbon dioxide available. This is how cyclic photophosphorylation is different from the non-cyclic.